civil guard. Because there was a load of abuse thrown at Lucy over the civil guard issue. Her contacting civil guard. But what I would like to say is this, all right? At the end of the day, Lucy contacted them very, very early. Then the first day, I believe it was, absolutely no search went on. They refused to take it as a missing persons case and gave her a piece of paper eventually and said, after a certain time, you can sign this piece of paper and officially have him as a missing person. The very first night, 2 coppers sat in a car overnight up in the mountains. No one searched first day 1. No one searched first day 2.
Right.
You know that? Day 1 and day 2, there was no one searching. Day 2, there was some activity where 2 police officers were seen wandering about. So day 1 and 2, they were not in that ravine searching. There was no full-on search.
What about for the 2 weeks? Well, no. What about the 2 weeks? Well, no one was searching except you guys. Where were they?
They were not there.
We were not where we were.
And that's the point I was trying to get across. I know you booted me, and thank you for adding me back. I'm not against you. Yeah. I want to know why they disappeared for 2 weeks and went searching somewhere else. What was that about?
I think Chris has already answered it. We can't answer
publicly
that
they were following up other leads. That's what they've said publicly. So how do we know? We're not the Guardia Civil. How do we know?
So they were following up on leads, but then they obviously supplied Luggy here with LiDAR and let him search the ravines, but didn't search themselves.
No, I'm going to stop you, Kim, before you get your facts wrong again, okay? Who did you just say supplied me with LiDAR?
So was that not what you put in your video?
Well, no. What did you just say? Who did you just say supplied me LiDAR?
Did you not say the civil guard supplied you with that?
No, I did not say that, Kim. So you need to get your facts right. This is the problem. If you're going to ask me facts, that's wrong. I'm not going to answer them.
So where was the LiDAR from?
I told you it was from the Spanish government on the mainland. Nothing to do with Tenerife.
Correct. It was. It's in public domain. It was from Spanish government upon request of freedom of information. A statement saying they didn't believe Jay would have gone off the hiker's track. But when you use the process of elimination, that was the only...
But then you said, Chris, to be fair, you said in one of your statements that if he was being chased, they would have seen that on the cameras.
Well, they would have had CCTV footage of him leaving...
So did they not have CCTV footage of him going off the road?
And they didn't treat...
I'm not speculating here. I'm asking the questions that other people are.
I will answer that question for you. There was no evidence whatsoever. So that indicates that they do have footage that they're not obliged to share with anyone.
Okay.
They do have evidence that this was a missing persons case, and there was not a single shred of evidence to treat it otherwise.
Right, let's just go through what...
So they would have evidence of someone chasing the road, but they wouldn't have evidence of him leaving the road. Is that what we're saying?
Kim, let me shut you down right there, okay? So what you've got to think of, right, is if somebody saw him chasing along the road...
Yeah.
Are you now going to involve Lucy and Brad as friends of Jay?
I haven't mentioned them.
Right, okay, so why...
Have I mentioned them from the beginning of this? I'm not interested in that. What I'm interested in is you guys.
Mute her.
I'm not interested in that. Oh, mute me.
Mute me.
There we go.
That's right, so I can answer your question.
Yeah, mute me.
Thanks.
Fine.
Is she not muted?
I'll mute myself, guys. Here we go.
Listen, I'm going to answer your question, okay? And the question is, did Civil Guard have video, blah, 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 of somebody shooting across the top road getting chased? Well, here's the answer to that, okay? The evidence is right there and you can unscramble it yourself, and I don't see why I would have to do it. But all the information is on my account. Now, if Brad has taken a call with Jay, and Brad is saying that Jay's laughing and shooting off down this dust track, how does that fit in with Jay being chased? Because Jay would have turned around and said, Brad, I'm not laughing, I'm in trouble, I'm being chased. Yeah. So do you get now that no one's chasing anyone? And how about when Lucy's on the phone to him further down the ravine and he's stuck and he's scared? Did he turn around and say to Lucy, I've just got chased down here? No, he never. But why are we asking these questions when the evidence is quite plain and easy to see right in front of you? Now, if you want to go back to the door of the Airbnb, you now have to say to yourself, okay, so if everyone in the Airbnb has got something to do with it, how come Jay's seen walking alone, but walking fast up a hill towards the lookout point by an independent witness? Which is, you see, when I tracked Jay through the terrain, okay, before I met Chris, this was, what I did there is I took the timings and the pings and all the available data and all the available proof of life. Now, proof of life is very important when you're searching for a person rather than a crime. What proof of life says to you is, look, somebody saw this person standing there. Now, it's not hearsay because we're not in a court. Get that? Now, hearsay would be in a crime. Oh, somebody saw him standing there and the crime was committed near there. Well, okay, fair enough. That's hearsay, can't use in evidence. But if you're searching for someone, if somebody comes up and says to you, oh, I think I saw that person down there, do you take that as hearsay and not check that place? No.
You have to take it as
that's right, and you go and search, okay? So we take all the proof of life, not facts or theories or anything like that. Because look, if we take a theory, but the proof of life facts discredit a theory, then we don't need any theory. We're not detectives. We're not there to do theories. But we can discredit them actually, as it happens, through pure facts of the case. The fact that we was able to track him right down to where he was meant to me that there was absolutely zero crime, because if there was a crime, there would have been a different outcome. Yeah.
If there was a crime, the Guardia Civil would have jumped all over it. They would have been heroes for solving it.
The outcome.
I think that like he's been found, he's been put to rest, and like seriously, like we should put it to rest now, and let him.
Not regarding civil guard, we shouldn't, and what the family want to do, Tash. I didn't explain that bit to you earlier, but yeah.
And there's also an ongoing inquest.
Because I'm at work, so I need to shoot off in a minute. But
if you were the family, would you be thinking exactly the same?
I would have questions, but I wouldn't.
I think
I wouldn't want the public speculating in such a vile way as they have done all the way through this.
Yeah. Let me put it from my perspective. This is one of my children that I was dealing with. Okay. Absolutely no way would I let anybody put it down until I got an official apology from that country for what they did to my friends, my family, myself, and everyone who wanted the help. Okay. I would not personally let anyone stop, okay, going up against civil guard for me or the Spanish government, if they were doing it on my behalf. Now,
I understand that, but I wouldn't want a load of TikTokers doing it for me on social media after being trolled whilst a family member's missing all this time.
Well, I get that, and do you realise that the family can stop us at any day, any minute? They've got our numbers. I've spoke to them all day today. I've spoke to them yesterday. I spoke to them the other day. Do you realise?
They've not even buried a week.
Do you realise that they are in contact with us, and if they want this stopped, that they just call or send me a text, either one, and it stops?
But why
it's them in charge of what we're doing.
Why not just show respect as humans?
How am I not showing respect if they have got the key to what I do?
Because right now they need to.
How do you know the family don't support what we're doing? So if the family support what we're doing, they could stop it at any point. Then
that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Well, if the family is supporting what you're doing, then what I'm saying is absolute nonsense. Then don't worry about what I'm saying.
So,
but, you know, at the end of the day, I'm sat here feeling like, wow, you know, the lady before me, she was coming up with a lot of, and I'm not being offensive, but a lot of stuff that wasn't important now. You know, Jay's ultimately being found, yes. And I understand that you guys are being subjected to criticism and speculation, and you guys have every right to clear that up. But I just think that I don't know. I just think it's just a bit too soon right now.
Can I just intervene there? One second. Can I just intervene for 1 second? I think yes, the family deserve all the respect. I think when people are suggesting publicly that the Guardia Civil have been round to my house and silenced me. I think when people suggest that because I'm a property developer here, I'm somehow embroiled in a mass cover-up, including the police, the government, the underbelly of Tenerife, whatever that is. What do I not have the right to defend my name against liable and defamatory comments that are affecting not just my family, my business, my life? I'm supposed to not say anything? Because every time I go quiet, if I put my profile down tomorrow, there'll be wild speculation that I've been arrested and, I'm part of some conspiracy. So I can't put my profile down. So I've lost some of my freedom of choice. I can't do it because it'll fuel conspiracy theories. I'd love to switch off to it, but I just receive an abundance of hate from a certain group of people online. How is that fair? When all I did was go out there and try and find a boy for their family.
You have every right, because all you did was try to help this family, both of you. You have every right to defend yourself. I'm not saying that. But I just think the discussion of, certain aspects of the search that isn't public and certain conversation is just a bit too soon, that's all. I'm not criticising you per se, but just to hear like the woman in before me and the things that are coming across, as a family member, that must be upsetting to hear. And I just, that's just me. I'm a bit of an empath, and I think about people's feelings.
And so do we, right? And should I tell you something? If I was thinking about someone's feelings, then I wouldn't put the case down until they tell me to. Do you get that?
Of course I do, yeah.
If it was my child...
I was everyone's feelings trying to find Jay, and we were successful in getting the right people to go in there and find him. I was also thinking about someone's feelings when a member of my family was physically attacked in public.
ZZZ, whoever that is, on our own. We are only doing what the family want us to do. If the family do not want us to do anything, do you realise, everybody, that we inform the family prior to what we do online? So they've got the chance to stop anything we do prior to it going online. Including this live tonight. Do you think the family don't know what's going on?
I know that the family know this live's going on. I've seen Rachel in the chat tonight, and actually I've got I've got contacts within the group as well, just like yourselves. But I wasn't coming up to criticise the family, but it wasn't more about your conduct at all. It was the lady before.
Right.
I am going to drop, personally, I watched, all your videos and updates, and for those that did go out there, as well as Millie as well, and put your boots on the ground and did what you did, you really do need praised and acknowledged for that, absolutely. And I'm not saying you have done anything wrong.
Right, I just think all over it. People need to get that into their heads and stop having opinions, because this is what the family wants to do.
I understand, and I understand that I just don't want any more, trolling towards them. It's just not.
That's right, and trolling isn't happening towards them, and that's why we're here. We're here to protect them. By the way, anyone in our chat, by the way, moderators, that want to put any more silly things like he got chased, blah, 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 just kick them out and ban them.
Okay.
Opinion is a bit lame, to be honest with you, because I certainly wouldn't come in anyone's live and say to him, you shouldn't be doing that for the family. This is my opinion, because my opinion doesn't matter. What matters is the family's opinion, and I have told you all, and I'm not talking to you guys in the chat, I'm talking about the trolls who want to come along, right? The family know categorically what we are doing. When we type something or do something, it's because the family knew about it. And it's down to the family whether or not they wanted to stop what we had.
If I can just say something, Luggy, because my position's really simple, mate.
Yeah.
If Jay was alive and he went missing tomorrow, even after all the backlash and all the hate have gone, I'd still go and do exactly the same thing again. And if anyone in all the comments, even if anyone who's ever gave me crap throughout a whole year, if one of their family came here and had the misfortune, I'd do exactly the same for their family. So that's my position. Simple as that.
That's right. And I would do the same. So for all those who got like the opinions and all that, at the end of the day, we would do the same thing again in a heartbeat for any one of you trolls, okay? For any one of you that's writing things on your accounts that's slating us off, what you don't get is we would actually put ourselves through this again and take another 3-4 week beating to save a family like the Slaters. Do you understand that? That's what we would be willing to do, because we defend people that way. We were only here to defend them, nothing more. We're not here to run our mouths. We're not here to run our theory. We're not here to say we are the best. We're not here to say everybody listen to what we say. You've got your own opinions. You listen to what you want. Okay? But do not bring it to us that you've got an issue with what we're doing, because we're not interested in your issue. We're interested in doing what we're doing for family. Do you get that? So all you trolls, all who want to do whatever, you don't like the way I speak to you. Maybe you should just sharpen your pencil yourself on the way you speak to me in my chat and in your creations. Because, it's getting to slightly get my back up to some degree, listening to lame crap all day. And people are saying to me, oh, this one's saying this one's saying that. I'll take a screenshot of this. Here's a screenshot of the one at blocked dude. I get to see it all. But to be honest with you, I just read it and I laugh. And it's like, okay, it's just comical, because in the morning. Do you guys know that basically when Lucy reported this, that the police turned round and didn't search, sat there in a car all day. Lucy said to him, I think it was on the 18th, it's been 24 hours now, you told me you're sending an helicopter. And they said, oh, we couldn't sell an helicopter up because it was too dark. So for the first 2 days, there was no helicopter even, and she got lied to. So Civil Guard actually lied to her, because they said to her that they were actually sending her, they were sending a helicopter up. So I was reading something else at the moment then, that they were sending an helicopter up when they never. So she was lied to. And she was told, you can't report him to a certain time. So when people were saying later, it was this one's fault, is Lucy's fault, and Lucy never reported him till the following day, blah, blah, blah. You got it all wrong. Lucy reported him day one. It's just because of the way Spanish law works, just the same as this country. You can't walk into a police station because my son's been missing for an hour and report him missing. I have to wait till maybe 48 hours or 24 hours. Not sure what it is in the UK. Fortunately, my children didn't go missing yet. Hopefully it never happens. But there is a protocol, and that protocol has to be followed by law. And that is, when Lucy made the report, they weren't going to go run out. The Glory Hunters, let me see what I said. The Glory Hunters are the trolls, not christened. Manda Moore 007. Thank you very much. That is right. It's the Glory Hunters, the trolls, the ones that think that, they're very clever, putting stupid little pictures of us up and like little children, be honest with you, they are. Yeah. Yeah, have you noticed what happens anytime we go and speak on air? Is bang, instantly they remove any comment, okay? That lowers the tone for them and lets the people know the truth. Yeah, on ours we don't. We allow your questions. We don't allow your stupidity, because we ain't got time for stupidity, but we definitely got time for questions. We can answer questions all day long. But if those questions are already answered in the videos and you're too ignorant to go and watch them, then sometimes you're going to get a short answer when you ask a question. Depends on the frame of mind at the moment. If someone's really, really, really busy and have not got the time anymore to start answering these questions, sometimes you're going to get the short answer, and that is go watch the videos, the answers you want are right there. Help. She loved her friend Jay. She loved Debbie. And of course she helped. And then set up the GoFundMe. Like I said before, did you really think that she set up a GoFundMe for the sake of it? Or do you think there was real good reason why she might have thought she needed to help Jay's mum and dad, or mum, whoever? But at the end of the day, that is what happened. It looks like we have Lisa up in the box. Tom, you awake? Tenerife Tom, have you got your ears pinned back, brother? Maybe Tenerife Tom is having some audio issues back there, I don't know. It certainly seems possible. Managed to get your ears. I think we got Tom back now.
Hi, you're right, Luggy. Chris, how's it going?
All good, yeah, thank you, buddy. Oh, right. Hang
Yeah,
on.
sorry about that. I'd requested to join a while ago and I'd nipped out the room and...
Yeah, sorry, Tom. Can you just pop back out a minute because I want to bring somebody in?
Okay.
I will bring you back in. My mods will make sure that I do that, right? But I've got somebody here asking and I really want to bring them up right this minute. Cheers, buddy. Right, how do I actually bring someone up here? Right, okay, got it. I think I've done it. Let me see. Family. Let me see. How can I find Lisa? Oh, hang on. Request. No, it's not Lisa. Lisa Sparks. There we go. How do I actually? Okay. Yeah, not to worry. We're not going to have Lisa up this evening for now. That's for sure. That's okay. We're doing something else now. Yeah. Okay. No worries. All right. So, Tom. Okay. Yeah. Fire away, buddy.
Yeah, good. Thanks for letting us back on.
Yes, baby. No worries.
So the bits I'm interested in that you're involved in is this holding people to account for, particularly the ones who've made a lot of money out of spreading misinformation, creating conspiracies, spreading them, and still now, this is the issue now, is still carrying it on now and claiming that they've got information that really, if it was important information, the police should have it, not for them to try and prove that, or try and prove to their followers that what they've been saying isn't false.
Okay, so Tom, are you actually referring to me?
To who?
Are you referring to me?
No, I'm not. No, I'm referring to people like Haley Comet.
Oh, right. Okay. Let's not pull their names up. Sorry.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I wasn't going to I wasn't going to mention any names.
Yeah.
But I know people who've said on their own lives and said in content they've created recently that they are that they've got information that proves certain people, basically friends of Jay's, were involved in his disappearance. And
yeah, more bullshit. Yeah. Because I mean, let's face it, right? If anyone had that information, are they going to sit on TikTok saying I got information? Or are they going to go straight to the police with it? You use your bonds, like not you, Tenerife, and anyone in particular saying that. If you've got information that's relevant to a murder case, if it was a murder case, what do you do with that information?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't sit on TikTok
and there's people in the comments saying that the person I mentioned hasn't said that. Well, I can play you a recording of her saying that last week.
No. Tenerife, Tom, listen.
I'm not going to do that, but if they want to come on my live sometime, I'll play the recording. I did it last week. I did it on Thursday last week. I played it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So, Tom, what happens on yours is what happens on yours, right?
Yeah.
But over here, slightly different. Over here, it's a safe haven for everybody, okay? What people have done in the past is what they've done in the past. If they're repentant for what they've done, then fair enough. Yeah, that's my attitude, right? Whether the family accept the repentance is down to them. You get that? It's nothing to do with me whether family accept the repentance of those. As far as the liable defamation cases, those who are suitable for it are getting it. And like me and Chris said earlier, we don't have to do nothing. All we do is hand the evidence, like basically there's the evidence of all the dingles, right? To a solicitor, no fix, no fee, right? They take it to court for us. They take all of those that we want taken to court. We do nothing. We just sit back and watch the letters getting flown out to these addresses, okay? Now, what the issue is, right, is a lot of people think, I got a TikTok account, you'll never find me, blah, 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 blah. Totally wrong. I got a TikTok account, you'll never get me on that. What a load of waff. Do you really think that you're not going to get found who you are when it's a legal case against you? The legal case is slightly different. Basically, your information is getting dished. Absolutely dished. So what happens is this. The longer it takes to actually get your information, the more money the solicitor is actually going to be paying.
I should say, the more money the solicitor is going to be accruing in the time it takes to locate you. So that we're not too bothered about, because the longer that it takes, the better. Right, Chris, can you do me a favour? Can you hold the live for me a minute? Chris?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah, thanks. I've just got to ring someone a minute. Very important. Thanks, I'll be back.
Yeah, look, just on that point, look, I'm a very straightforward guy. I have a nice life, didn't need to do this, did it out of good intentions. I'm a big boy. I can take bullies, I can take abuse. That doesn't worry me either. I'm not interested in going after anyone. I want to be left alone. And that's the truth. So, I mean, if people want to continue their campaign and crusade against me, well, let them do it. I'm not going to lift a finger. I'm not going to lose a minute's sleep over it, because I'm not in control of what they do. It's up to them what they do. So I'm not bothered about
who's campaigning against you, Chris. Who are these? Just random comments that people make, you know? Because I've had lots of negative comments in this since I've been speaking, but these are supporters of people who have had their bubble burst, you know, and that's the problem.
So in my space, I'm referring to some guys on YouTube who I've said publicly I respect. I've followed their podcasts. They have had many of the questions I've had, and that's perfectly natural. But in my space, I don't allow anyone to be abused. But in their space, it seems to generate this hysteria, and they seem to accept that it's perfectly okay for me to be abused, for people to, you know, create libel against me and defamation of character. But I'm not bothered in chasing anything. I don't have to. I'm not bothered. All I've said about the guys on TikTok who I respect and have followed from day one, and I still follow because I enjoy their content. I just look at it from my position, right? I was called to go and help as a volunteer. I went as a volunteer. On the day I went up there, it was cancelled, so I only had the information I had to try and help a family find their boy. I was not involved in investigations. I'm not a detective. I just went up as part of a search party, and I was fully expecting to be directed and told what to do. But on the day when I turned up, there was nobody there. So I started to search myself. Now, I'm not trying to create a narrative. I don't have all the answers. I've not interviewed anybody because I'm not qualified to interview anybody. So for anyone to turn around and say that my intentions were of a negative form, or I've got ulterior motives for doing what I did, believe me, it couldn't be further from the truth. So at some point, as anybody would do, if you're receiving abuse and hate, you just have to say, well, at some point I'm going to defend my corner, because the truth is important. The truth is, I saw on one of the days I was up there, I saw a father and a brother and Rachel, and I saw people looking for a family member. And do you know what? When I came home that night, I never anticipated it was going to affect me emotionally, and it absolutely done me in. Could you imagine if like any fathers out there or any brothers out there, you're out there looking for a loved one, trying to find them? And we were proved right all along. He was stuck in a ravine. It absolutely done me in. Now, if people think that it's just that I should receive abuse for trying to help a family, then fine. That's their choice in life. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair.
What they got to understand is we are taking total abuse, right, in messages, other content.
Can I just finish one thing, Luggy, before you jump in, mate?
Yeah, sorry, mate.
I'm not going to go into the full details, but I deliberately never spoke to the family during the course of the search because emotionally I didn't think I was up to it. Once the outcome become evident and Jay's remains have been found, I did sit with the family and I sat down with them and I told them the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And they asked me certain questions like, did I see him? Did I find... I'm not going to go into the details out of respect for the family, but everyone out there just needs to know this one thing. All of the questions they asked me, I looked them in the eye and I answered them truthfully. And for days after, any question they had, as they were absorbing that information from the conversation and sit down I had with them, I answered them truthfully. Now, on the day I met them, I gave Debbie something and I gave Warren something. I'm not going to go into any more details, but it was a very personal, emotional, very important gesture, and it was something for them to remember the effort and what we did, and they put that in the coffin with Jay.
Yep.
So that family, believe me, they know the truth. They know more than us, and for them to pay myself and Luggy and Adrian that level of respect, actions speak louder than words. For them to do that absolutely broke me, destroyed me. It was, as I said before, if I had to do it again, I would do it 1,000 times. And if I had to do it for anybody who's said a bad word against us, if it happened to their family, I'd do it for them as well. I honestly, we did the right thing. And I'm not interested in all the nonsense.
No, I'm not either.
And that's all I've got to say on it, Luggy. Sorry, mate.
No worries, Chris. No, you pour your heart out for it and tell them exactly as it is, because they need to know. Some of them really do need to know. CG silenced you. 1 minute you knew, next minute you told us, shh. Kim Lee, CG silenced you. CG didn't silence Chris. Chris is on you talking right now, Kim Lee. So I think you're wrong to say that. Somebody kick her out, please, because as it goes, Kim Lee, I do remember seeing your face sitting with Lola today. And what was you doing? Winding Lola up, wasn't you? You're working with Lola, aren't you? And Lola sent you here, yes, to ask those questions. Do me a favour, one of our mods, kick Kim Lee clean out here, please. I've had enough of seeing her face today.
Like some time to speak to Kimberly, but I know it's your chat. It's not my platform to request it, but I would like to have spoken to her. The other thing is, Luggy, I've not been silent. I've put my face all over this.
That's right.
And I stand by what I've said. And my friends, just so the world knows, yeah, I've got personal friends in the Guardia Civil. They're fathers, they've got kids, they're respectful, honourable people, they're policemen, they want to do their job well. They're upstanding citizens, yeah? And when they knew, okay, I'm just going to lay it out here, Luggy, yeah?
Yeah, go for it.
When I said I was going to go out and search for Jay, I was told, do you know what you're letting yourself in for, Chris? Do you really want to do that? And I said, it's not important. There's a family missing a boy. And if it was my son or my daughter, or if it was me and my family was going through it, I hope someone would stand up and do what we did. I hope someone would do that for our families. Yeah? And when I said that to my friends in the Guardia Civil, they said, Chris, you realise what you're going into? Please put your tracker on. Feed us information. Let us know where you are for your own safety. If you need anything, you call us. You call us in. We're there for you. But we have got a job to do. We have got orders to follow. That's what they said to me. Right. They did nothing but support me, you, Adrian, everyone, Luggy.
And now I'm going to say something else. When Chris was down in the ravine, before Chris got off the mountain, I'd already called him and told him the helicopters are on the way. Okay, that was on the Saturday, right?
Yes, you did, and I've got written proof of that.
Yeah, you got voice text of it actually, Chris, because I called you from my car.
Yeah, I've got both. I've got both, mate. I've got written text. You saying, listen to your audio and call me. Yeah. The helicopters are on the way, and that's when I called you when I got back to Santiago del Tello, mate. I've got it all recorded.
So I already knew the choppers were on the way, folks, okay? And I want to tell you one more thing about these two particular choppers that went, all right? Do you think that you can just walk up to an helicopter, start it up, jump in and fly to a mountain? No. What happens is you have to pre-plan that the day before. The flight plan, the amount of people on that plane, the engineers need to know exactly how much equipment is going on it, what the duration of the flight will be totally, so that the flight engineers can go, right, this is the weight of the helicopter, this is the weight of the fuel that we got on
Full
board.
risk assessment.
This is the weight of all the people on board. This is the weight of all the equipment. This is the possible weight that we may be picking up, possibly 1, 2, or even 3 people. Okay. Now, instead of sending one helicopter to save Chris from there, they sent 2. Now, why did they send 2? Why did they have 2 helicopters actually ready to go that day? A team of mountain rescue people ready to go that day, because Civil Guard were already pre-warned that we were doing it. Okay, the embarrassment was too late. They could not get in before us.
Luggy, just one more thing.
Yeah,
on when we did the notifications privately and publicly, we said, this is the information, act on it. If, quote me on this, Luggy, if this is not acted upon, tomorrow I'm going into the bottom ravine by boat, and I'm going through the bottom ravine, and we're not stopping until we find Jay.
Civil Guard were informed that this team will not stop. That's what Civil Guard were told. They were told straight, this team will not stop. This is a British team, and we're going to embarrass you unless you go in there and get that boy out. It can only be one part of the ravine he's stuck in, and that is because you've got a man trapped there.
And the other thing is, when they called for help, they never specified that it had to be people on Tenerife. Help could come in many forms.
Right. Help is help, okay? Now, if somebody can sit in the UK and have knowledge of how to ground track, okay, basically taking all the knowledge of the ground, all right, and then work out what a person is doing there, it actually takes a lot of brain power to take all the information that's available, okay, and then piece it together with time slots and proof of life slots. If you take the times and the proof of life slots, which are Brad spoke to him, Lucy spoke to him, woman in a car seen him walking up the hill, somebody saw him at the Airbnb, somebody saw him at the time when a car was asked to be moved. Now, what you've got to remember is all these people get involved if you follow a theory. If you follow a theory there was a crime, well, first of all, you now got to add, if there was a crime at the Airbnb, you've now got to add Lucy and Brad, but it doesn't fit in with their statements already, which were day one statements, basically, to the police. He went up a mountain. We ain't seen him since. This is what he said to me at this time.
The other thing, Luggy, while I'm being completely honest, you gave me instructions about what was dangerous, you know, what to do and what not to do, but, you know, I kind of knew that anyway. I had shared something with you about me personally, and the personal thing I shared with Luggy is I do not want to be the person that finds Jay. And Luggy protected me, and he said, Chris, you won't have to be. Our objective is to make sure the right people go down there and find. You won't have to do that, Chris. All you is prove what we're saying. Thank you, mate. Thank you, mate.
Okay. So Chris was told specifically, okay, that he doesn't need to go and find Jay. All he needs to do is stand in the V-notch so that I can show on track into Civil Guard live that, look where Chris is, all right? Now send the helicopters, because at the end of the day, I can't speak to him on the phone. End of. Helicopter.
Hi, Chris.
Vegetation, then onto the V-notch, and from there, you know what the locals call it, gates of hell.
Gates of hell.
And you've got cliffs, and there's no way I was going down there.
Okay, that's that big cliff that runs all the way out to Masca. And then when you get into the Masca Gorge over into the Juan Lopez, you've got that V-notch called the Gates of Hell. Why do the locals call it that? Because they know anyone goes in there, don't come back out. Sheep, animals, whatever, they go in and they don't come back out. Well, the goats can actually get out there.
The other thing I'd just like to say, just to reinforce, and Millie, I'm sure you'll back me up here, Millie, but on
Chris, you've paused yourself or someone's paused Chris. So somebody unpause Chris. He's having technical issues.
Yeah. So what I was about to say before I got rudely interrupted, not by you guys, by a friend of mine here. Yeah, by myself. No, is that people have said, and Millie's walked the ground. She knows it as well as anybody. So, you know, I mean, ask Millie if you don't believe me. But on the hiker trail, you can absolutely navigate the hiker trail and get down to the beach and back again. It's a big effort. But once you go on the right flank, you're off the trail, and people have got to remember that Jay lost the ability to see where the hiker trail was, and it's very easy to get off track. He would have gone to the end of the pathway, down the water crescent, and the rest is. People say, "Oh, it's easy. I've seen people walk the hiker trail in trainers." Yeah, that's the hiker trail. It's a bloody hiker trail. Of course, people do it every day. But once you come off track and you start when you're at drop is 150 meters in. Oh, Chris's account went down. He must have been arrested and all this nonsense. When I did that video, I was emotionally broken because I'd seen a father and a brother looking for this, you know, the son and the brother, and I never expected it to hit me that way. But if you're a person, if you've got humility and if you've got empathy, and you're out there and you're watching that firsthand, as close as you were, I was at a distance. I couldn't meet the family until the point afterwards. And for you to give us credit for that just shows the level of person that you are. And yeah, I made a promise on those videos, and it's in public domain. I'm not going to stop searching for Jay until we find him. I don't care who found him. He needed finding. And he was up there, and people have forgotten about, distracted by all of the bullshit, Millie, that was going on, that distracted everybody. And we never stopped doing what we were doing.
But I think you and Luggy can back me up on this. I think we are all grateful that he wasn't found by his family in the way that he was.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah.
No.
At the end of the day, we're all grateful that at the end of the day, he is now back home, up north, where he belongs with his family, where they can
Exactly.
just visit him. All right, that's what we're grateful for.
Yeah.
Right? We just don't want to give it go, let it go, which is highly irregular of people that just do not want to let it go. And it's not a case that we're not letting it go. Just like it was kept in the public media, what you guys don't understand, but the family do understand, is that the momentum when it's built up against the government is never released. The pressure needs to stay on with them, and that's the game of chess. The game of chess is you put the pressure on, you don't back it off ever.
Look, it's no secret, Luggy. You and I are mates. I love you to bits.
Yeah.
You've got your perspective. I have mine. Bear in mind, I've worked with Spanish government for more than a decade. So I've got, let's just say, a very good level of experience in dealing with the Spanish government.
Yeah.
I understand your perspective. I understand you want an apology. However, at a political level towards the end, where I believe the people who had the ability and the power to say to the Guardia Civil, these guys have not stopped. These guys have shared information with us which makes sense. Yes?
Yes.
Get down there and get him out, because if you don't, there's a Dutch team coming in and no one wanted that.
At the end of the day, they didn't care about the Dutch team because they were just going to turn around and say, oh, well, they had specialist dogs, we never. Their big issue was a British soldier standing down there that embarrassed the government. The government were like, hang on a minute, our search teams, our Guardia Civil, our mountain rescue, our helicopters, all the resources, all the dog teams, all everything I've listed before, and there's no need to go through it all, failed. Now, when that team fails and 2 British soldiers go and stand at one spot and embarrass the whole country and all the search team, the government do turn around and say to them, we are not having those British guys walk in there again.
So
Prepare the helicopters now.
we're not going to let the whole cat out of the bag here. But
No.
you made calls and you had your contacts. We reported everything as advised by the Guardia Civil the day we came out of the ravine. I told them, and I know you told them, that tomorrow Chris is going in by boat. And he's going in the bottom ravine, and he's not going to stop until he gets him. So you've got a choice to make. Go and get him out, or we'll do it for you.
You didn't know about me all renting the boat either, but there we go.
Thank you, mate. So that's part of the strategy
That's
that
just
you
more.
put
We're
together,
not
mate.
mentioning anymore because there's no need, right? At the end,
I know, mate. You're right. There's no need to mention it. But
It's just more for him to fire our ass. I can't be arsed with it.
Can I just add to what you were saying?
Mel.
That we kind of had a similar sort of pathway that we thought was likely, and that's why we ended up on the left flank on the 20th and 21st of June, which is like day 4 after. But we were told that the Guardia Civil were obviously going to go and look into that area, so we left it to them.
So the left-hand flank would be the obvious choice, okay? Because it's got
exactly.
GPS, Juan Lopez GPS trail running through it, okay? But when you bear in mind that somebody hasn't got a GPS, they're not following a given trail. So this is where the search became different to tracking someone on the ground. And only somebody that's got the specialist knowledge of what you need to key in all that together, will you get someone to track someone on the ground like that. Henceforth, why so many people were just wandering around up there aimlessly, not really, they're searching, but without any, I mean, look at the search we did, right? Chris goes in on one day, bang, we got the helicopters in behind. That was a targeted search. Do you get what I'm saying? Like Chris said, it was like a guided missile was sent in there. It was targeted to do a job, although he didn't need to go any further than a V-notch, okay? This is the whole point of what we did. It was to force the government.
The other thing, Luggy, sorry to interject again, mate. No. People need to understand that for every day on the ground, there was 5 days of research, 5 days of conversations, 5 days of cross-analysis, 5 days of how does this work out politically? How do we get people to do what we want them to do? So the theory behind it and the strategy behind it
was worked out way before I met you.
Was exactly, mate. But that's 80% of what happened. So when people say, "Oh, there's been a search every day by Guardia Civil or volunteers," yeah, but what are they searching? Are they just bimbling around? Are they just? This is not against you, Millie. Sorry, this is about other things. Yeah, so I just want to be clear on that.
Guardia Civil, if anything.
People are just walking around, even in the wrong ravines. You know, mountain rescue. You've deployed resources to the wrong ravine. Why? When you've got the intelligence that shows this. So they never used and they analysed analyzed the intelligence that was right in front of them.
That's right.
We had people coming over from, helping the family. I don't want to get into that, but by the way, this is not Paul Arnott, by the way. Other people. Paul Arnott, I will stand up and say, that boy made a good effort and walked.
Of course he did.
And he did his bit. And he should be given credit for that. So when I say this, I'm not talking about Paul. I have the utmost respect for Paul.
Myself too.
With good intention, a good heart, and he really wanted to help. Yeah. So this is not about Paul. just to be clear.
And I have to say that some of the stuff that Paul did, even though I had already clued up, what happened is things that Paul did, things that other people did, things that Chris did, all helped. Sorry, Chris. All helped to finalise a single plan. So the further it went on, even though I knew basically where the issue in the ravine was, it was only when I kept getting more information from different people on the ground could I put it down to the plan and say, this reinforces my plan.
Luggy, off the second recce, you asked me a series of conversations. One was, Chris, do you realise the track that you were on? I said, yes. You said to me, what was driving you? I said, the limited information and instinct. Then you said, do you know what you were looking for? And I was honest with you. I said, no, but I believe I'm on the right track. I'm tracking the guy.
Sorry, this is before this is your searches you're talking about, yeah?
Yeah, mine before we did our recce, mate. And then when you filled in the blanks with me, I was like, holy shit. And when I said that to you, you went, do you see it, Chris? It was staring you right in the face the whole time. And I was like, yes, mate. Now, I've got my family telling me, don't go there again. Don't put your face in public. Don't do any more videos. Leave it alone. He's never going to be found. You're an idiot for doing it. Friends ringing me, don't do it. And when you told me what you told me, I was like, fuck me, mate. I can't leave this. I've got to go back.
Yeah.
I've got to go back and do this because what the blanks you filled in, now the penny dropped. Now it made sense. Now I've got to go back and do it.
And now people will understand how I felt back in the UK. I couldn't actually leave, and it come to a point where I pushed civil guard and the government, and I didn't feel safe turning up in Tenerife because they were likely to arrest me at the airport. Okay? And literally send me back out of that country because they've got the right to do it. And when they knew that an embarrassing thing was about to happen, they got the right to do it at the airport. Unfortunately for Chris, they couldn't. For Adrian, they couldn't. They're residents there. But for me flying in, they could literally turn me round at the airport. That's simple. Any rule they want.
And the only mapping you could probably get would have been obviously from down the rapids or anyone else who was doing mapping.
Yeah, well, nothing off no one. Yeah.
But I don't believe the problem from the start was people weren't working together to share that idea, and it was very frustrating for obviously my group and my team who, one of them's Guardia Civil, but he doesn't have access to that top secret file. He's not allowed into it. It's only certain people, so I think it's about 6 or 7 that are allowed in it.
And had they known about Millie and her team, Millie would have been handed the file and said, Millie, get on it.
But hang on, I want to throw something in here which might be controversial, but I'll be respectful about it, yeah?
Controversial in which way, Chris? Because it's my life.
With regards to Mr. Detective.
We're not going to raise him right now, can't be asked. I don't even hear his name.
Okay.
Go on and raise it. Go on, I'm going to walk out the room a minute.
Well, for the record, I said a few things which were personal comments. And the reason why I did that is because of the emotional state I was put in and the fact that I felt someone was fueling the hysteria, diverting attention from the facts. Mm-hmm. So it was nothing personal against that person. I just felt the way things were being conducted, it wasn't productive towards helping find Jay.
Can I just to add though, I know that there is obviously some upset about the way that Mark's maybe handled things, but he did help in asking for mapping from people, and other people did refuse to hand it over. Right. I think more because they thought that it was just, for example, my group, they didn't realise, they thought it was just some random English girl who's like overweight or something and is just randomly walking around aimlessly around like roads. But what they didn't realise is the group that I was with had gridding and mapping experience and we weren't getting the information we had begged for from other people. And it's like everyone did their bit, but if only, it's just one of those hindsights, isn't it?
Let me just back up a little bit. Yeah. So, when a detective comes to the island, and I can't quote because I never heard it firsthand, but when they are professing to claim they can solve a case in 3 days, that's a big claim. The first thing they do is hold a press conference in the middle of the street and talk about underbelly of underworld and or whatever it was that they said. Yeah, it's all in the public domain, though. It's that. Just let me finish this point, right? Then when that party has been furnished with intelligence regarding the search and how it could help the family to find their son, because it's still a missing persons case and it's still a search. There's no criminal element at this point, right? But everything that came out was about, I've interviewed so-and-so, I've spoke to so-and-so, I've received this information, I believe this to be true, that to be true, whatever. At no point was anything that came out focused on the search. So the purpose was not focused on finding Jay. The purpose was something else.
I agree with that.
He's doing his job as a detective, but if you're doing your job as a detective, do it stealthily. Do it under the radar. And had it been done that way, there wouldn't have been the public hysteria. The Guardia Civil could have potentially continued without interference. Jay could potentially have been found sooner, and it wouldn't have been left to, you know, let's just say amateurs. I don't want to degrade us, but let's say amateurs to.
Well, we're civvies. We're technically civvies.
Yep. To civvies to do what we did. So this is not anything I said personal. I've already publicly apologised. Yeah, and this is not a slur. But had I have been a detective, I would have done it completely different. I'd have done it under the radar, gathered everything I could have gathered. I would have made sure any statement was bulletproof before I went public and released it to people and caused hysteria. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
And if I was a detective, the first thing I would have used is proof of life first. Then criminality, if it fits into the proof of life issues. And then you can work out whether it was a crime or an accident.
And I honestly believe a lot of the hate that we've suffered has been a direct result of that.
Have been a direct result of.
Yeah, I just wanted to say,
I just want to clarify what he said. A direct result of.
I think a lot of the hate that we've suffered has been a direct result of the accusations and information that, in my opinion, was leaked to the public from a professional detective that should have kept that under wraps until he had his case bulletproof.
Yeah, well, what happened with us, Chris, right, is basically this. We were hearing noise. And when we were hearing noise, we would do this. This is noise. We'll put it there, okay? Now, if the noise at any point becomes part of what we are doing and interferes with like, let's just say, right, as far as we're concerned, Brad says this on the phone and he's laughing and he hasn't been chased, okay? If at any point we heard, oh, hang on a minute, Brad might have said something else, i.e. through Mark, William Thomas, or anything else like
anyone.
That bit of information goes like this, to the side of the table out of our view. It's not out of the view, it's there. It's out of the view of our, our forward vision, but preferably it's still there on the side out of view. And if it ever becomes relevant, then it would immediately be handed to the police. Now, not only was it immediately handed to the police if it was relevant, I would have said, well, what anything that was sent wasn't relevant. Anyone who said to me, I think this is to do with the case, and what I said to them, if you really think that's to do with the case, take it to the police, not me. I'm not a detective.
Look, somebody else said, always think murder until proven otherwise. Yeah. That's fine. Think it, research it, gather the evidence, analyse it, build your case, but don't share that publicly.
Yeah.
And I think it happened in their defense. The reason why I think that happened is because of the lack of information and the lack of press conferences that came from the Spanish authorities, not civil guard, because they follow instructions, they follow orders.
Exactly.
So I think that the lack of communication and the lack of information delivered to the public fueled the theories, and people were left to try and discover and research this and find out what happened for themselves.
Yeah, sure.
The backlash of that is people have been damaged and people have been harmed.
Of course they have.
Now, I'm going to say something controversial now, and if you don't mind, Luggy.
Yeah, well, it depends on what controversy we go with.
Jay invited himself back, as we believe.
Yes.
I believe there's evidence to support that.
Yes, there is. At the funeral and at the wake, I met the family, I met them all. And obviously it was a very sad day for them, right? But then at the end of the day, it was also a very good day for them in another way. And that is, A, Jay was home. B, all his friends were there. C, all his family were there. and the amount of support and love over at the wake later, okay, well, a lot of people are writing, oh, they used the money for this, they used the money for this. No, they didn't. In fact, I saw the money that they were putting over the bar to buy the beers and everything, because they were buying them for me all day. The family didn't let me, spend a penny, even though I didn't drink. They were like, oh, have a pint, like, have a pint. And I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm all good. That family were absolutely amazing, all right? And all I saw was absolute love. I was treated like I was a son there by everyone. Do you know what I mean? Everyone just, it's like flipping it. The Northern, I never really knew it. I knew about Scottish, but I'd never gone like past Manchester and met people like in that area, which I think that's where they were. I'm sure I drove past Manchester. Oswald Thistle lived in like a little place up to the right of Manchester, I think it was, in Blackburn. Anyway, absolutely beautiful people, right? The amount of love shown there and friendship. It was like wow, it's like a second Wales, but on another level, like, because obviously they got and everything they say, they got a tit at the end of everything. And it's like, wow, is it kind of?
No, I think what Shane's done is commendable, mate.
Yes, sure, yeah. Truth of the matter is,
right. Look, we were working blind to us.
Right. So anyway, like I was saying, at the end of the day, okay, regional police are the ones that were managing it. All right, they were managing the lowers below them. It was mishandled, mismanaged by the regional police, which are under the Spanish government. And they're the ones that pushed the downhill onto civil guard. Now, civil guard then would be the ones that went and executed what they were told to do, okay, as a ground search. Now, that turned up nothing, all right, over the 2-week period. And so these are the facts and a little bits of snippets that haven't really been let out just yet regards for the political side over there. But at the end of the day, the ones who did the search were the civil guard. At the end of the day, they're the ones who come out and said, no, we have searched that area. He is not there. We will then go back to Cipriano Martin's actual statement, okay, the day they finished the search. We only have to listen to that statement to work out from it that they lied to the family. We can then work out from that statement and further statements that they came out that they further lied upon lie. Yeah, they were putting one lie on top of another. But the way they were wording it is always a get-out clause in it. Right? Now that's the way civil guard work. If you looked at the very, very first ever video I made, I turned around and I said, Warrior Civil, they'll never give you the information that they got. And as it happens, they're a clever bunch. And I kind of laughed and sniggered at my own comment because I also knew that they can be incompetent completely because of something personal that I know about civil guard, which has never been mentioned in this case. And it's not going to either.
because that's absolutely private. Right. Anyway, Millie, thank you for coming up. Chris, thank you for coming up. If you two can pop back out, Shane, if you can do the same, because I want to invite some of the people that have sat here. Now, Carl's probably going to send all his trolls to come chasing after me, but Carlin, at the end of the day, you made a statement the other day, and that statement is in the Sun newspaper. And I could also tell you the name of the woman that did it. But unfortunately, son, you know what you said to her in that newspaper? That is not what the family think of you, my son. All right? You lied to the newspaper. You lied about what you said about Debbie, because Debbie told me this afternoon. All right? Wow. Direct from the horse's mouth, Callum, that you have lied. All right? End of. And they will bring that up with you when they're ready. But right now, they weren't ready to come up and speak tonight. But actually, if they had to come up and spoke tonight, that's one of the things they would have raised. They would have raised that about Callum.
Wow.
All right? The fact that he's now gone in the national newspaper 3 days ago, the Sun newspaper, where he contacted them to blow his own whistle once again. And yet you lot want to have a go at me for speaking. Sorry. You want to go have a go at me, you two over there. You know which two I'm talking about. Because I spoke to a not reporter. I've explained the situation there. The family know all about it and don't think anything went wrong. Other than some plonkers decided to jump on it and go and stick it on TikTok and look like fools. Well, that's it. That's their thing in it. Anyway, back over to you.